Good morning, children. We'll continue the lesson Homesickness. I think you remember the last week's class. I'll continue the same. Okay. And we were talking about the narrator that when he was in a hostel, how he felt homesick. He was feeling badly that he even felt he is suffering from a severe stomach ache, and he was pretending and he was trying to convey it properly to the matron. Okay, I think you remember this. Okay, I'll continue the lesson from page number 22. This was the right move. I saw her hesitate. Stay where you are, she said, and walked quickly from the room. She had had a nurse's training, and she did not want a ruptured appendix on her hands. Okay, here, what was he doing? He was crying loudly when she touched the proper place where the appendix actually is. And this was the right move. That means now he did it well. And I saw her hesitate. That means now I felt that she understood what I said was right. Stay where you are, she said, and walked quickly from the room. Okay, she walked away. She had had a nurse's training, and she did not want a ruptured appendix on her hands. What's the meaning of ruptured? Broken or burst. Okay, because she already knows it, so she doesn't want to identify it by understanding by herself. Within an hour, the doctor arrived, and he went through the same prodding and poking, and I did my yelping at what I thought were the proper times. Then he put a thermometer in my mouth. Okay, so after 1 hour, the doctor reached. The doctor arrived, and he went through the same prodding I told you, just poking with the finger, and poking, same meaning. And I did my yelping means sharp cry. He was crying loudly at what I thought were the proper times. That means when the doctor touched the place where the appendix actually is, he started to cry. This was the right move. Then he put a thermometer in my mouth. After that, you know that if there is any infection, automatically there will be high temperature. So the doctor was testing his temperature. He said, "It reads normal. Let me feel your stomach once more." Ouch! I screamed when he touched the vital spot. Okay, so since he felt that thermometer or the temperature is normal, he said, "Let me touch the place where you feel pain." But the boy was screaming. The doctor went away with the matron. Like the matron, he must have felt it safer to send me home rather than risk an appendicitis operation in the school. The matron returned half an hour later and said, "The headmaster has telephoned your mother, and she's coming to fetch you this afternoon." Anyway, he is almost getting success in his plans. What is happening here? The doctor went away with the matron. Along with the hostel warden, he went away. Like the matron, he must have felt it safer to send me home rather than risk an appendicitis operation in the school. So the doctor thought that he doesn't want to operate him from the school. So he set the matron to send him home. The matron returned half an hour later and said, "The headmaster has telephoned your mother." This is what he expected. According to his expectation, actually, he is going to be sent to home. This is what he expected. I didn't answer her. I just lay there trying to look very ill. But my heart was singing out with all sorts of wonderful songs of praise and joy. Okay, He was very happy inside, but he pretended to be sick again. I didn't answer her. I just lay there trying to look very ill. But my heart was singing out with all sorts of songs because he's happy. And when you are very happy, you'll be singing, dancing, etc. Here, the boy is also singing with joy. I was taken home across the Bristol Channel, and I felt so wonderful at being away from the school that I very nearly forgot I was meant to be ill. That afternoon, I had a session with Dr. Dunbar in Cardiff, and I tried the same tricks all over again. But Dr. Dunbar was far wiser and more skillful than either the matron or the school doctor. Okay, so he was sent to home. But usually, if we are sent home, our parents will be taking care of us. So they took him to the hospital, and he actually had a session with Dr. Dunbar uh, in Cardiff, and I tried the same tricks. Means he was crying aloud when doctor touches. He used the same tricks all over again. But Dr. Dunbar was far wiser. He understood the tricks of the boy. After he had prodded my stomach and I had done my yelping routine, he said to me, "Now you can get dressed again and seat yourself on that chair." Okay, when he completed his pretending, doctor said, "You can sit there on the chair." He himself sat down behind his desk and fixed me with a penetrating but not unkindly eye. "You're faking, aren't you?" he said. Okay, and he understood that this boy is lying. He himself sat down behind his desk and fixed me with a penetrating. What is the meaning of penetrating? Steady and sharp. The look was very sharp, but he was kind because he is a boy. And he asked with such a tone, "You're faking, aren't you? Actually, you're pretending, aren't you?" he said. "How do you know?" I blurted out. What's the meaning of blurted? Say without careful consideration. Okay. And without minding, he asked, "How do you know that I'm pretending?" "Because your stomach is soft and perfectly normal," he answered. "If you had had an inflammation down there, the stomach would have been hard and rigid. It's quite easy to tell." Okay, since he is a doctor, he knows all the symptoms of infection. So he said that if there is inflammation meaning is a painful swelling caused by an infection. If there is, then the stomach will turn out to be very hard, but your stomach is very soft. So it proves that you are quite okay. I kept silent because he knows that that is right. So he kept silent. "I expect you are homesick," he said. Then he asked, "I think that you're homesick. That is the reason." I nodded miserably. What is the meaning of nodded? Just shook his head uh, to agree. Yes. "Everyone is at first," he said. "You have to stick it out. And don't blame your mother for sending you away to boarding school. She insisted you were too young to go, but it was I who persuaded her it was the right thing to do. Life is tough, and the sooner you learn how to cope with it, the better for you." Okay. "Everyone is at first," he said. The doctor said that at first everyone is like that. You have to stick it out. What is the meaning of stick it out? Face an unpleasant situation with courage and patience. Means we have to adjust by facing the situation. Everyone has such problems, but we have to cooperate. We have to face it. And don't blame your mother for sending you away to boarding school. It is not your mother, but she insisted you were too young to go. She said that you actually are not aged to go to a boarding school. But it was I who persuaded her. Persuaded means made her change her mind through request and arguments. It's I who actually uh, asked her to send you. Life is tough, and the sooner you learn how to cope with it, the better for you. Life is tough, so we have to adjust with it. The sooner we adjust with the situation, the better is our life. That's what he told. What will you tell the school? I asked him, trembling. I'll say you had a very severe infection of the stomach, which I am curing with pills, he answered, smiling. It will mean that you must stay home for 3 more days, but promise me you won't try anything like this again. Your mother has enough on her hands without having to rush over to fetch you out of school. I promise, I said. I'll never do it again. Okay. And this boy is actually troubled now because he doesn't know whether he will inform it in the school. If it is informed, the matron will be behaving in such a way. So he asked, what will you tell the school? I asked him, trembling. Trembling means shivering. He was fearful. I'll say you had a very severe infection. Okay, that I will manage. Means I will say that you had a severe infection of the stomach, which I am curing with pills. Pills means tablets. He answered, smiling. It will mean that you must stay home for 3 more days. That means you can stay 3 more days here at your home. But promise me you won't try anything like this again. Okay, but you have to give me a word that you won't pretend in such a way again. Your mother has enough on her hands without having to rush over to fetch you out of school. Okay, that means when she came to the school, she took much effort in order to take you from the school. And she had spent. I promise, I said, I'll never do it again. So that day, his homesickness was over. He thought that he will not do anything like this again, and he was a uh, definitely we can expect that thereafter he was a very good boy, very good student. Okay, this is not only the story of a person, but it has a universal appeal because many students, many boys, many girls will face this problem. So when the author has written this story, definitely um, he must have meant all the students, all the boys and girls who face the same problem. Okay, we all feel that when we are away from home, and if we happen to be in a place which we do not like, we'll have the same problem. So this is a good lesson in the point of view of a seventh uh, standard boy or girl. Okay, we'll discuss the rest of the question answers and the rest of the things in our live class. Okay, thank you.